Welcome to Binge Breakthrough, the podcast designed to help you finally break through the barriers that keep you stuck, feeling out of control around food. I'm Master Certified Coach Jane Pilger, and I want you to know that no matter how long you've been struggling or what you've tried, food freedom is possible, and I'm here to show you how. After years of therapy, eating disorders treatment, restrictive diets, and reading all the books, I was still stuck in the on-again, off-again cycle of restricting and binging until I was able to see it all from a new perspective that changed everything. Each week, I will share the strategies, tools, and mindset that allowed me to overcome my decades-long battle with binge eating. Your journey to body trust starts now. Let's dive in. Hello, trusted listener. Welcome to Binge Breakthrough. I consider you a trusted listener because I trust that you are listening to this podcast for a reason. I trust that you are going to hear something today that is insightful and impactful, not only on your journey with food, but on your journey with life. So this week, as this podcast is aired in real time, it is Thanksgiving week in the United States. And I thought, what better topic to cover during Thanksgiving week than gratitude? Now, this podcast also really goes hand in hand with last week's episode. So if you have not listened to last week's episode, I highly encourage you to check it out. It is another very powerful tool, powerful concept, the power of intention. Setting an intention for yourself, how you want to show up in any situation. Yes, you can absolutely use it with food, and you can use it with any area of life. So if you have not listened to that episode, I encourage you to finish listening to this episode and then go back. I will link to the Power of Intention episode in the show notes here, so it's super easy for you to get to. All right, so this week in the blog on The Peaceful Eater on Substack, I wrote an article called What You Focus On Expands. I will also link to this blog post in the show notes. And if you're not already subscribed to The Peaceful Eater, I highly suggest that you do that. You can do that through the link that I give you. Through The Peaceful Eater, what I do is every Monday, I send out a blog post. And every Wednesday when the podcast comes out, you also get that email announcement in your inbox. So additional resources for you for your journey with food. But here's what I want to talk about with what you focus on expands. I love this quote. I say it a lot because it's true. What you focus on expands. Here's the other quote that I also love. What you resist persists. So what does that mean? What you resist persists. How does that show up? We're not going to go into full detail on this, but let me tell you how it shows up for you. When you resist something, when you don't like something, when you want it to go away, it persists. Guess what? Most people end up doing with their binge eating. They resist it. They hate it. They don't like it. They want it to go away. And in that resistance, it persists. When we hate the part of us that binges, when we hate it when we binge, when we are full of shame and judgment for ourselves, we are unintentionally we're not creating the problem, but we're expanding the problem. It's persisting. We are creating persistence with our problem. Now, let's go back to the previous quote. What you focus on expands. So the question is, what are you focused on this week? No matter when you're listening to this, if you're listening to this live and it happens to be Thanksgiving week, if you are listening to this some other time, what are you focused on? Are you thinking about what's going wrong? Are you worried? Are you focused on all of the things that you have to do and you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's so much to do and there's not enough time? Are you focused on that terrible, awful thing that a family member said or did? What are you focused on? I talked last week in the episode on the power of intention. I talked about the reticular activating system. If you want more of a deep dive on it, go back and listen to that podcast. But as a little tiny refresher, the reticular activating system is the filter in your brain that decides what's important. If you are focused on something, you have automatically put your reticular activating system to work on it. So what are you focused on? Your reticular activating system has now decided that's what's important. So what I want to encourage you to do is to focus on gratitude. Gratitude is a simple and powerful concept that can have such profound impacts in your life. But if you don't look for it, if you don't focus on gratitude, if you don't put your reticular activating system to work on finding gratitude, your brain will not find it on its own. Your brain is too busy worried about what's wrong, what might happen, any potential danger, keeping you safe. That's what your brain, unsupervised and unguided, is going to be focused on. So we need to be very intentional of putting our focus. Where do you want to put your focus? So my encouragement, especially this week, focus on gratitude. No matter what is happening in your life, no matter what you've eaten, no matter how much you have eaten, there is so much to be grateful for. We can be grateful for life, the existence of your life. If you are listening to this podcast, you have life. You have breath. We can be grateful for any amount of our health. Yeah, we could focus on all of the ways we wish our health was better, all of the concerns we might have about our health or what might be happening with our bodies or whatever the case. We could be concerned about that. We could focus on the negative, the scary, the what if. But guess what? That's what our brain then is going to focus on. That's what's going to expand. And if we don't like it and we're resisting it, it's going to persist. So can we focus on the amount of our health that we have and be grateful for it? Can you find gratitude for relationships? Yeah, there are probably relationships in your life that you might prefer were different. But how many relationships do you have that you can be grateful for? Put your reticular activating system to work on those. You can be grateful for having a roof over your head, electricity, the device with which you are listening to this podcast, free resources like this podcast, and the thousands or tens of thousands, I don't even know what number of podcasts that are out there. We can be grateful for the continued research and advancements in so many areas. We can be grateful for relationships. Oh, look at that. I said that twice. I clearly have a lot of gratitude for the relationships in my life. One thing I have learned so deeply in my own healing, in my own recovery, and in the continued research that I do on this topic, our relationships, connection with other people is key. We cannot do life alone. We are not meant to do life alone. We can be grateful for nature. the beauty of nature, the way that nature changes with the seasons. Right now, as I'm recording this podcast, the leaves are changing. It's powerful. We can be grateful for the way that things change and ebb and flow. And that when it's winter and when it's cold and things seem dreary and things are dead, we know that spring and summer are coming. New growth is coming. Warmth is coming. We can be grateful for what's coming, even while we're in the midst of something that feels cold and dark and dreary. We can be grateful for our pets, for the unconditional love that some pets bring. Some pets may be a little more conditional than others, but a lot of pets really bring that unconditional love. We can be grateful for pets that still exist and our beloved pets that no longer exist. We can be grateful for our relationships with people that no longer exist on this earth. There is so much to be grateful for. Another amazing tip when we're really looking into gratitude and we're kind of diving into gratitude is you can use your senses. Use all 5 of your senses and expand your gratitude towards your senses. So what does that look like? What smells are you grateful for? Just think about that question. As I ask you that question, I bet you automatically had certain smells come to your mind. I love the smell of anything peppermint. I love the smell of freshly mowed grass. I love the smell of the beach. I'm grateful for the smell of the beach. I am grateful for the smell of like cinnamon sugar, kind of cinnamon brown sugar. It really reminds me of childhood. I am grateful for that smell. What tactile things are you grateful for? I think about one of my favorite blankets on my couch. The feel of that blanket. The feel when I pet my cats. What other tactile things? I imagine running my hands through warm sand on the beach. What about sounds? What sounds are you grateful for? I'm grateful for the sounds of like a stream, not like a roaring river, but like a moving water. Maybe it's a river, maybe it's a stream. Definitely the sounds of the ocean, those crashing waves. I love the sound of rain when I'm indoors and very cozy and warm. What other sounds? I'm grateful for the sound of a baby laughing. What about tastes? What tastes are you grateful for? And why? What is it about certain tastes? I've talked before. I love all things mint and chocolate. It's kind of interesting, right? I love the smell of peppermint. I also really like the taste of peppermint combined with chocolate. I love the smell of kind of cinnamon brown sugar. I also love that taste. There have been a lot of binges on that type of food when I would not allow myself to eat those foods. But it's no wonder I love them. It does bring some nostalgia. But when I can be grateful for it and I can allow it and I can appreciate it and I can savor it, then I can have this amazing experience with it instead of thinking that I'm broken and out of control and can't stop eating it, sitting in the car trying to hide from anyone and everyone. Such a different experience. What about ways of using your own voice? Are there ways that you can use your own voice that you're grateful for? I am grateful to be able to bring you this podcast to people all over the world. I have clients all over the world. I am grateful that my voice, at least to some people, is soothing. I have many people who tell me that my voice is very soothing and very calming for them. I am grateful for that I can use my voice in that way. I am grateful to the people who have been that soothing voice in my life, because I never had that type of a soothing voice in person or in my head for a long time. And then I did have those voices in my life. And now I have become one of those voices for other people. I am so grateful for that. Gratitude is proven to be beneficial for your heart, beneficial for your mental health, for your longevity. Gratitude is amazing. So here is a simple practice for you. If you want to cultivate more gratitude, you want to focus on more gratitude in your life, keep a gratitude journal by your bed. This does not have to be a specific journal that you get it can literally be a little tiny notebook, 99 cents that you buy at the store. Just have it by your bed so you see it. And when you go to get into bed, you see that journal and you say, oh yeah, gratitude. Write down, grab that journal and just write down 3 things that you are grateful for each day. And vary it. Don't write the same 3 things down every time. It's going to get old. Your brain's going to be like, yeah, whatever. We kind of just will gloss right past it. Vary the things that you write. Keep it top of mind. Think about during your day what you're grateful for. You might even put your mind to work on, I wonder what I'm going to write down at the end of today. I'm going to look for things to be grateful for. I'm going to write down my top 3 things, but ideally I could write down 15 every day. I wonder what's going to make my top 3 list. That is the power of putting your reticular activating system to work on finding gratitude. What you focus on expands. If you look for things to be grateful for, you will find them. There is so much around you, so much to be grateful for that we don't even see because we're not looking for it. If you are grateful for someone, tell them. You have no idea how much it might impact their day or even their life. We all need words of encouragement. Your words can be so powerful. They can buoy someone else. You never know if your words of encouragement are exactly what someone else needs to hear on that particular day, or if it's exactly what they need to keep going or to navigate through a challenging time. I know that when I hear words of gratitude from you, from the listeners, about how the podcast has impacted them, it has a profound impact on me. Whether it is a review that somebody puts online, whether it is an email or a message that I get, it is powerful for me. And I know the same is true for anyone who hears words of encouragement. Now, here's another place you can extend gratitude. You can extend gratitude towards your food. You can be grateful for where it came from, wherever it happened to come from. You can be grateful for what went in to getting that food to your table. You can be grateful for the companies behind the preparation or distribution of it. No matter what type of diet you eat, there are multiple companies behind the preparation and distribution of your food, no matter how you got it. How about your body? all of the processes that happen within our bodies that we don't even have to think about. The organs, the blood, the tissues, the nervous system that is constantly scanning to make sure that we're okay. There is so much to be grateful for today and every day. I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for you listening to this podcast. I'm grateful for you sharing this podcast with others. I'm grateful for you leaving reviews or letting me know how it impacts you. I'm grateful to my clients, my current clients, my former clients, to the subscribers of The Peaceful Eater, to the future readers of my new book. I am grateful to have had all of the challenges that I have had with food so that I could get to this place where I am actually able to help others navigate to their own peaceful relationship with food. And I'm grateful for the moments when my relationship with food still feels a little challenging, or I have these little blips that I can learn from and I can use and bring to my clients to show them I'm human too. There is no finish line in this journey with food and in this journey with our bodies and in this journey with gratitude and working with ourselves. There is so much to be grateful for. So the question is, what are you focusing on? What you focus on expands. I invite you to focus on gratitude today and every day. That's what I have for you today. Now, next week, be sure to tune in. I'm going to tell you about my next big adventure. I'm going on an exciting trip, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Thank you for listening to Binge Breakthrough. If you want to understand why you feel out of control with food sometimes, I've created just the thing for you. Discover the number one reason why and get 3 things you can do today. Visit bingebreakthrough.com/quiz and you'll have your answer and your next steps within minutes. That's bingebreakthrough.com/quiz.